Guys, the last time we were talking about, I gave a little idea about what is uh, what is the institution and how we technology. It was a demonstration. It was only for the demonstration of it. It is how to start for instance. Today, I'm just going to start with benefit of cloud. What should be its flow of the training? We were discussing about that. First of all, we'll talk about the benefits of cloud computing and then why AWS is needed, right? And AWS PC account, and then AWS management console, AWS management console, and then we'll go again and we'll talk about the HTTP instance and virtualization, containerization, and comparison between containers and volumes. And then we'll start our AWS journey. The first topic would be AWS global infrastructure, and then we'll start with services there like EC2 serve. So it's a pretty lengthy course. So we will take a little time to start. So almost it takes 36 to 40 hours between, approximately 40 hours to complete it.
Sir,
And
actually, your voice is not properly. Mm.
hello,
Hello?
yeah, my voice is okay.
Sir,
Is my
actually,
voice clear?
yes, sir. Heavy voice, like a blur type, sir, is you coming.
No, no. Now the voice is clear or not? I guess that so that
Sir, double voice is coming in my mic.
in your and anybody who is facing the same issue, Anil is saying he is getting the double voice. Eco is actually receiving. So what of the Baswaraj, the Shah, Ria? My voice is clear or you are getting two voices?
No, I am able to hear you clearly.
Clearly.
Yeah.
That's what I think it's a clear point. And I hope for everyone it's clear. So not an issue. So first of all, the benefit of cloud computing. I'll start with the benefit of cloud computing. So the benefit of cloud computing, the first thing, because the benefit of cloud computing are not limited. These are means if you just writing the list of benefits of cloud computing, we have a long list. But here I will focus on some specific use cases and some points like flexibility, disaster recovery, software updates, controlled capital expenditure, stock getting capacity, data accessibility, security, competitiveness, and few more. That starts with what is the flexibility. So just understand when I say flexibility, so means we have an option to choose the compute resources in a flexible manner. We can choose languages. We can choose any language in AWS, and we can also choose any type of database, any type of operating system. So this is a basically agile. AWS is agile. When I say agile, what do you think that you have, right? If you need any kind of thing that you will have. For example, let's I'm talking about a virtual machine. You normally create a virtual machine, right? We create a virtual machine. So let's say you have a virtual machine and you're running a server and you feel that the one server is not sufficient. Let's say this is the one server, and in the beginning, you started this actually the project with one server. You started your project with one server, and initially the one server was sufficient. But very soon, you realize that your incoming traffic on this server is increasing. It means your business is going up, and now you have more volume traffic on this machine. So means you don't need, so you cannot complete, actually, you cannot fulfill the requirement of your business with single machine. You need more machines. So without doing anything, without interrupting your existing infrastructure or without interrupting your existing virtual machine, you can you can multiply the number of machines here. Means you can launch more number of machines here. Right. This is it. So means it's a flexible in compute resources. So instead of a one machine, you can have multiple machines now, and you can distribute your incoming traffic among all these servers, among all these machines equally. So means if you have huge volume, even though you can run your business in an uninterruptible manner, right? So this is basically the simple example of flexibility. This is the one. Instead of one machine, you can have more machines. And if your requirement goes down, so you can remove these machines. And this can happen automatically with the help of auto scaling, load balancing. You can do this stuff. Effortlessly, you can do this. Right. We will learn everything practically, how we can do that. But right now, I'm just talking about only the benefits of cloud computing. Secondly, let's say you are a programmer or you have a team of programmers in your company and you need a language. You need a language to write a code, language to write a code or write an application, write an application. So uh, what kind of language is required? So it's a good news in AWS. You can use any language like Node.js, right? You can use .NET. You can use Java, right? You can use Python. You can use Go, Ruby, right? So many other languages, etc. So all these popular languages. So you can find the support of all these popular languages in AWS. So it is completely flexible. It is completely flexible if you want to choose a language to write a code, to write an application. So your programming team or your programmers can write a program in any one of these languages, right? So this again is an example of flexibility. And let's say I'm talking about database, right? You have a database system. So what kind of a database you can use? You can use RD or you can say SQL database, right? Or you can use no SQL there, no SQL database. So this is an example. So and you can also introduce elastic cache, elastic or cache memory, right? So we will learn what all these are. But it's a completely flexible to introduce any type of database in your architecture. And you know that for the different type of database, you have a different requirement. For the different requirement, you have a different database, right? If you have a structured requirement, means if you need a structured database, you can use SQL database or RDBMS. And if you need an unstructured database, in that case, you can use NoSQL or NoSQL database. So I'll explain you what is the difference between SQL database and NoSQL database. Sometimes what happens if you are not basically professional in databases, so sometimes it's a new term for you. So, but during this course, I will explain what is the major difference between the SQL. But this is again is an example of flexibility, right? And let's say you are talking about an operating system. What kind of an operating system? Yeah. Operating system. Operating systems you can use. So you can use Linux operating system, any flavor of Linux. For example, Red Hat Linux, Linux, CentOS, Fedora, Amazon Linux, right? You can choose any flavor of Linux in AWS. Not only this, you can choose any flavor of Windows operating system, Windows Server operating system, right? Because we have a different type of server operating system. So all those active server operating systems are available in AWS. So you can choose. You can choose any flavor of Linux and Windows Server operating system and Mac operating system as Mac OS. So not
Voice.
only on, yeah,
Can increase your voice.
who is saying the voice? Hello,
Your voice is little low, sir.
my voice is little low.
Yeah.
How important that my voice is little low? Anybody who is feeling that my voice is low? Anybody else? Because if it is from my
No,
side,
sir.
it will it will be an issue for everyone. But for others, it is okay. It means please check your end as well. Because from my end, I think I tested it. Everything is okay. So
Okay.
please check once again at your end.
Yes, I'll check.
Right. So the language wise, you can choose any language. Database wise, you can choose any databases. Operating system, it is also is a flexible. You can choose any operating system here. And in the virtual machine, you can increase or decrease number of servers as per your requirement. Right. So this is a good example of flexibility. Means number of servers can be increased or decrease on the basis of project requirement. Right. This is what we have. Great. Good. So this is completely the flexibility example of the flexibility. So this is one thing. That's why and this is a one benefit of cloud computing. And if you see the second benefit, the controlled capital expenditure, just very important. It's a controlled capital expenditure. What is the meaning of the controlled capital expenditure? Controlled capital expenditure means if you're talking about AWS or any other public cloud platform like GCP or Azure. So generally in public cloud platform, you will pay only for what you use. Let's say you have a one machine, right? For example, you have a one machine and you are running this machine only for the 2 hours. You're running machine this for the 2 hours and after 2 hours, you stop that machine. So it means AWS will charge only for these 2 hours. And if you stop the machine for the stopped resources, AWS will not charge anything. This is a good thing because this feature is not available in your private data center. Because in private data center, you don't have any option to actually stop the charges. Because in your private data center, the first of all, you have to purchase some hardware from the market. You have to pay money for that particular hardware or resource, and then you will launch in your data. It means you already paid the amount for that issue, whether you are using in for the later use or not. That is the secondary thing. But you already paid for that machine. But in cloud computing, let's say you have a machine, and if you are using it regularly, so you will pay for the running hours. Let's say you use for the 2 hours machine, the 2 hours, you will pay 2 hours. If you use for the 24 hours, you will pay for the 24 hours. And if you are using in a non-stop way, let's say you have a web application server and you say, I will not stop this server anymore. So I want to run this server continuously day and night. So in that case, we have a different plan to purchase resources. So on such plans, you will get a very good discounts if you want to run your resources in a non-stop way. So we will talk about in this course what are the basically we have a different purchase plans for our servers. Means we have a different plans to purchase servers. So and this way we can control our capital expenditure. Right. This is the one thing. And similarly, for example, you have a storage. Let's say you have a storage. This is a big storage. Just assume that this is a storage, right? And the storage, the storage, it could be, we have a different type of storage. But let's say you are storing, you consume a very little space for this storage. So you will only pay for this storage, not for the entire one. Let's say the total storage space is really high. The total storage space is really high, right? For example, you can just go back here, here, and here we have right. So let's say this is the total space we have, and you are consuming only this much of space. So whatever the space you have consumed, you will only pay for that consumed space. But this facility is not available in your private data center. In your private data center, you have to purchase hard disk, you have to purchase network attached storage in advance, and you will pay everything for that, right? So means you will pay the complete amount for that particular hardware. But here, you will only pay for the consumed resources, right? This is the thing. So flexibility is okay. It controls capital expenditure. You can better control your prices. You can save money here. And the second thing that you have a software update. So this facility also is available in AWS and or in public cloud platform. What is the software update? Because this option is available for your machine. Let's say this is the machine we have, right? And this machine is automatically is connected with online repository. And if you want to update the softwares running on this machine, it is easily available. And even you have not to pay anything. You have not to pay any cost to update the software or to update operating systems. So operating systems are running. For example, you have a Windows operating system, Windows Server operating system running on the server, and you have a Node.js is running on which people are doing some development. So if you want to update those softwares, it is available free of cost, and effortlessly you can update those softwares, right? And for that, you don't need actually the WSUS kind of a server. You don't need the local repository, because these servers are connected with the online repository of the cloud provided repositories, and you can easily update your softwares and operating system without any effort. So this again is an advantage here. And the next is, let's say, the stop guessing capacity. I already talked about this. I already talked about this in our first benefit, the flexibility. So it is very similar to the flexibility, the stop guessing capacity. Let's say in the beginning, you need a one machine, right? So no issue, you can launch your machine. But if you need a multiple machine, for example, if you need multiple machines here, so you have not to plan anything for that. In a few seconds, the one machine can be replicated into multiple. The one machine can be replicated into multiple machines. You can launch multiple machines in a effortless manner, right? In a very less, and you have not to make a big plan for that. So that's why I'm saying the stop guessing capacity. If you need 10 machines, you can immediately launch 10 machines. If you needed 20 machines, you can launch 20 machines here, right? So you can replicate them, and you can even launch a new machine for that, for your project, right? Now, the few more things are there, because I told you, because this is a very long list of benefit of cloud computing. And second is the data accessibility. What is the data accessibility? Data accessibility means the data is accessible over the internet. We have a different type of database in, or we have a different type of data storage spaces in AWS, like object storage, block storage, and network file system storage. So we'll talk about later. But the data is accessible over the internet as well. And definitely the data is safe, and you can provide encryption, you can provide security, you can provide the permission, right? So your data is safe as well as accessible on cloud computing environment very easily. Here we go. And let's say we have few more things. Disaster recovery. Just for example, because in AWS, the global infrastructure, right? the global infrastructure is saying that this AWS is present in multiple locations. It is available in the multiple locations, right? And for that, what you will do, sorry, here we go. Yes, disaster recovery. For example, I'm talking about the disaster recovery. So it means you can replicate your data on a multiple locations, right? So this is called the disaster recovery. Let's say you have your infrastructure in Mumbai. You have your infrastructure in India, Mumbai, but the same infrastructure you have or you can create in some another location. Let's say I can create in another location, North Virginia, right? Or maybe in London, or maybe in somewhere in Tokyo or in Singapore, means you can create anywhere. So you can replicate even the changes uh, between these multiple regions. Region is what? When I say region, the region is a geographical location, right? I'll explain in global infrastructure. I'm just giving an idea, means what is disaster recovery. So your infrastructure was created in Mumbai, and to just keep a one side safe, let's say something happened wrong with the Mumbai region, what will happen to your infrastructure? For the safety point of view, for security point of view, and for recovery point of view, you are also creating the similar infrastructure in any other region. If one region fails, even though you have access on your infrastructure and in your data as well, on your data as well. So these are some ideas I was giving. These are the benefits of cloud computing. The most important benefit is the flexibility, the controlled capital expenditure, and disaster recovery, and stop guessing capacity, and a few more things, right? So I told you it's a long list. It's a big list, right? And the competitiveness. So what is the competitiveness? Just assume, for example, just think about yourself. Let's say you have a very good idea to start a business, right? Just think that you need to start a business, and you have an extremely good idea in your mind, and you need to start a business. But investment is the problem. In earlier days, you used to have actually a big data center in your hand, or at least the basic data center in your hand. And to create a physical data center with your money, you need a basically the good investment, right? And if you don't have that investment, it means you cannot start business. But these days, everything is available on public cloud platform, and it is based on pay as you go pricing model. Means you will only pay what you will use. It means you can start your project with minimum investment, and if that project doesn't work, you can stop that project anytime. So you can minimize your losses. And if your business will trigger, for example, you have a very good idea and the business is now running, you can immediately enhance your infrastructure. You can increase your infrastructure, right? So both the things in your hand, and easy, in a very easy way. So these days, what I'm saying, the cloud is available for everyone now, and anybody can use this cloud. So, and it is available on a public cloud platform over the internet. Because what is the cloud? Cloud basically is the hosted services over the internet, right? And you need only internet connection to access cloud. That's all. Okay, guys. So this was a very basic idea, and I was talking about what is the benefit of a cloud computing. Now, I'm giving an example. Means you just let me know one thing. Uh, I think the few people are joined this. Anil, Swaraj, and who is this iPhone 170? Please do write your name. I don't see your name in your participant list. Irshad, Jacob, Ria, and Sandeep. Right.
Yeah.
So you please let me know, guys. You just open the meeting chat and let me know how many of you have AWS free tier account ready. Say yes or no.
I don't have it.
You just write on this meeting chat. So I will no, no. Sandeep, no. Jacob, no. Ria is yes. Very nice. And what's your name? iPhone 170. Shazeen. Shazeen. Okay. So I think you should write your name. Yeah. Okay, by the way. So Shazeen has, Basparaz has, and Ria. But few of you have no idea about, or you know how to create this AWS free tier account. It's a very simple actually. You will go to, for example, I'm using, let's say, a browser. Just open a browser and just write here AWS free tier account. Sometimes people are saying tier account is a tier account, right? It's the free tier account. And here you need to create an AWS account, and it is absolutely free of cost. The what you need in order to open this account. So if you want to open this account, you go to AWS Management Console, right? And when you open this AWS Management Console, it will ask you to sign up or you create a new account. So I don't see that one. Let me just go back and free tier account. Here we go there. Start free account and just create a free account here. So you need two things here. Number one, your email ID. So that email ID that you need, it can be a Gmail ID, Yahoo ID, your company's ID, any email ID, but ensure that so this email ID is not previously or earlier used to create AWS account. So you can create only one account with one email ID. So you need an email ID. So let's say abc@gmail.com, right? So this will not exist actually. So I'm giving an idea what you can do. And here you need to type the account name. Let's say my name is Sanjay. So I'm writing Sanjay AWS account. So let's say this is my account name, right? You can write your account name without any giving spaces. And if you click on verify email address, right? So this email, abc@gmail.com. So you will have your email ID. So that email will get some verification code. So you will read that verification code from there and you will type that verification code here, number one. So I cannot continue this because I cannot replicate or means simulate this thing to create a new free tier account because I already have this free tier account and just click on verification once you type the verification code. Secondly, the most important thing, you should have either a debit card or a credit card with you. Why debit card is needed whenever it is a free of cost? Because in order to identify your identity, your name, your date of birth, right, and will be verified through that debit card or credit card. It will ensure that you are not a robot, you are not you are a person who needs to create this AWS PTR account. And that's why you connect your debit card or credit card with your AWS account. So AWS will deduct or it will debit 2 rupees from your debit card or credit card, and it will come back within 2 working days back in your account. And one more thing, this account is a free of cost, and AWS will not charge any anything from your credit card or debit card without your permission. Even if you are using some paid resources in your free tier account and you have a bill amount, even though AWS will not charge anything directly from your debit card or credit. So AWS means can say that you should pay this one, but if you are not paying it, AWS can block your AWS account, but AWS will not charge automatically from your card or debit card credit. So this is a good thing. So you have not to worry about it. So please create your free tier account. So you should have username and password with you. Username is your email ID, and you have to provide the password during that. And it's a very simple procedure. You know that. So once you click on verify, it will ask to fill debit card or credit card information. And once you fill this information, your account will be created in a effortless manner. Right. So this is the thing that you will do. And now I'm going to just talk about next three. Next is why AWS, right? People talk about means, so we have multiple public cloud platforms. So do you know how many public cloud platforms we have? So you have a meeting chat open. You please write the name of public cloud platform. I'm not talking about AWS only. Other than AWS, any other name that you know about public cloud platforms? You please write Azure, AWS, Azure, GCP. Okay, Azure, GCP, IBM, GCP, Azure, AWS. Okay, Jacob, perfect. Sandeep saying Google Cloud. VMware is not a public cloud. So it is not open for the people just like AWS or GCP. Alibaba. Do you know about Alibaba? Alibaba is very popular in Eastern countries. Oracle, here, Oracle, and OpenStack. You can also use OpenStack. Red Hat. Red Hat is a company, right? Yeah. Cisco is not public, but you can use Cisco for you have to just purchase some resources. Cisco also is providing, IBM is providing, Oracle is providing, HP is providing, Dell is providing. But I'm talking about the public cloud platform which is available for everyone. So the names are AWS, GCP, Azure, Alibaba. So these are some names. Alibaba is also is very similar to AWS. Do you know about Alibaba? Just open
No, sir.
Alibaba. You can just open Alibaba. Alibaba Cloud. Let me see. Here you can see Alibaba Cloud. Right. You're going to see this is Alibaba Cloud. There we go. So this is a cloud platform. Just like AWS. Alibaba also is there. Right. And if you know AWS, you can easily work with Alibaba. Right. Okay. So let me open my AWS account. Let me open my AWS account. Here we go. And first of all, I need to log out. Otherwise, it will make issue later. So let's say, for example, what I'm doing, I'm writing aws.amazon.com. aws.amazon.com. I'll go to my account, AWS Management Console. We will click on AWS Management Console, right? And here we need to write our root user email ID. Next, and the password, and you sign in. If everything is okay, you will land on this first page. And this first page is known as console home. What is the first page? The first page is console home. Right. So this is the very first page. It's called the console. So when you open if you are using, if you are opening this account very first time, you will not see any services in the list of recently visited services. These are the services, right? What are the services? Actually, in AWS, let's say you want to create a server, right? What are the services? My question is very simple. What are services? What are services? What are AWS cloud services? So the services is for every use. So you need an interface, you need some dashboard, you need some page to do some task. For example, you want to launch a machine. Let's say you want to launch a server, or you want to manage a server. Let's say you want to do something with the server. And for that, you need a service, and the service is known as EC2 service. EC2 is the AWS EC2 service, Elastic Compute Cloud. I'll explain. I'm just giving an example here. Let's say you want to manage storage. So to create and manage storage, to store data. So you have a service. So we have a service. Let's say the S3 is a service, right? We have EFS is a service. We have EBS is a service. So these are some services. S3 is a one service. EFS is another service. EBS is another service. Let's say you want to create a container, right? To create and manage container. So we have a service called ECS, right? We have an ECS service. Let's say you want to create and manage network, to create and manage network in AWS, right? So we have a service called VPC, right? We have a VPC. Let's say you want to implement firewall, right? And let's say to implement firewall, we have a different firewalls here. So we have web application firewall, we have network firewall, right? We have network access control list firewall, etc. We have different type of firewalls, right? So you can use any type of firewall. So we have a different firewall for the different use cases that we will learn later. So what I'm trying to explain you with the help of this, for every need, for every purpose, we have a service in AWS, like EC2 service to create and manage servers, S3, EFS, EBS to manage storages, to create and manage containers, we have ECS, to create and manage networks, we have VPC, virtual private cloud, and to implement firewalls, we have different type of firewalls as well, right? So means for every use, we have service. And the most important thing, why AWS is important for me and for you as well, because in AWS, we have more than 200 fully featured services, right? Like EC2, S3, VPC, WAF, right? So Lambda. So all these are the name of the services like RDS, right? So these are the services. So this way we have 200 services in AWS for every need. And every service will have some minor services, some sub services. So if you are counting all major services and minor services, so the total count of those services are more than 1,500. My God. So this is a big number. This is extremely big number. Means in AWS, you have or you will have more than 1,500 major and minor services. And this is the reason I'm interested in AWS. because for every need I have or we will have services. So we have no restriction. And that's why we say that this platform, this AWS platform is agile platform. What is it? Agile. Agile means whatever you need for that particular solution, you have a service in AWS. You have a support in AWS. You have an option in AWS. You can do everything, right? There is no limitation. There is no restriction. The only thing is you should know which service you will use for that particular task or for the purpose. Now, why AWS? The most important factor why you are just going to choose AWS, because AWS has a largest, or you can say biggest, global cloud infrastructure on this globe, right? Means it is bigger than Azure, it is bigger than Google Cloud. So AWS has the largest presence in public cloud platform. AWS offers you largest infrastructure globally, because in this we have more than 32 live regions. I'll explain you what are the regions. Region is basically just like Mumbai, London, California, North Virginia, Ohio, Singapore, Tokyo. So these are regions. So this way, total 32 regions worldwide we have. And every region has some availability zones. So this number has been changed because last time in the month of November, I did write this page. In the month of November, we had 99 availability zones. But if you are talking about today's, let's say, AWS global infrastructure, if I open this page and I want to see the current number of availability zones, can you see how many availability zones we have? 105. So it is consistently increasing, and the regions are 33. Sorry. So we have to change this. So the live regions are 33, right? And number of availability zones are 105. So, and edge locations. So I'll explain what are the edge locations and everything. More than 600 edge locations or point of presence, right? 600. So these are creating. So means 600 edge location. These are mini data centers, right? So what we are saying, AWS is consistently and continuously working to increase the presence of this platform available on this global platform. Secondly, AWS also offers a free tier account. So you will say, so what's the new in this? Azure also pay means give the free tier account. GCP also gives free tier account. No, AWS was the first one. In the very beginning, AWS has started this tradition to start free tier account. Who has started this tradition? AWS has started this tradition. AWS was the first one who offered actually the free tier account. Now it is still maintained by AWS. And AWS is not charging anything, and it is available for 12 months. But some restrictions are there, of course, some quotas are there. So we have to follow those quotas. I'll explain during my training. So what type of quotas we have. And
Sir, a
the
small
most, yeah,
sir,
hello,
free trial account is valid for how many months?
12 months. 1
12
year means 12 months. It is available for 12 months, right? So your AWS account is valid for 12 months. Will it
I'm-
work?
I mean to say free account is valid for 12 months.
Yes.
Okay.
So AWS free tier account is valid for 12 months. I did right here. Correct? Now why AWS? So technically, if you see, if you create any machine, if you create any virtual machine in AWS, that machine performance is ultimate. Why the performance of that machine is ultimate? Because those machines are created on Intel Xeon platform. So all these are created on Intel Xeon server platform. So it means in AWS data centers, AWS is using Intel Xeon microprocessor and Intel Xeon microprocessor based motherboards infrastructure to provide you high performance virtual machines and at very less cost. That's why we are basically encouraged to use AWS, and the deployment speed is very fast. In a few minutes you can launch your servers. Let me show you. For example, let's say how much time you will take. For example, I'm here. I'm giving a little example here, right? And you just start counting when I press button. So you can't imagine. And I'm taking very basic configuration, right? I'm taking the very basic configuration. I'm taking very less configuration. I'm not taking the huge configuration. So this facility is nowhere available. So let's say I'm just launching a server. So this server is a stopped server. I'm not talking about this server. I'm launching a server. Let's say one, and let's say this is server 002. Let's say this is my server 002. I'm selecting operating system. I'm selecting the configuration. The configuration is built. It's a minimum one virtual CPU and 1 GB RAM. Even in your mobile phone these days, you will have 8 GB RAM, 12 GB RAM. And what I'm using here, only 1 GB RAM. And here, let's say I'm choosing a key pair, and let's say I'm trying to launch this machine. I just pressed a button to launch the machine, and now you start counting it. So how much time it will take? So this machine is being launched. This is server 2, right? And it's basically the 48, 2048 in my clock here. So it will not take even a minute. It will not take even a minute. In a less than minute, this machine will be ready, right? And this is the beauty, this is the speed of this AWS. Now this machine has been started. Can you see? This machine has been started. This machine has been launched. So in a less than 1 minute, your machine is ready. So this kind of a speed you cannot see in your private data center as well, right? You cannot see. You cannot even imagine. So, and if you're talking about, let's say Windows machine, let's say I'm taking a Windows machine here. So here we go, and let's say this is a Windows machine. I'm talking about the Windows operating system. Let's say I'm taking a little better configuration. Let's say C5 large, and here I took the basic configuration I took, and here this is the key, and you launch the machine and just start counting. Let's say you say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you start it, and this machine will be ready. And this machine has been started. Can you see? Now this machine is running state. This machine has been started. So in less than 10 seconds, the machine has been started. So, but if you try to install this machine in your private data center or in any other platform, that will take 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes. In your private data center, you will see it will take more than 30 minutes, 40 minutes to launch machine. But here, the same task you are doing in seconds. So this is huge. And this is a very rapid. Let's say I'm terminating all these instances. I'm deleting all these instances. I don't need actually. I just give the demonstration here. Okay. So this is the what, and the security, the deployment speed. You have seen the deployment speed. It's really fast. Security, it provides the security. We have a vertical for the security. We have different type of securities are available. You can stop malware attack. You can stop DDoS attack. You can stop any kind of intrusion. We have an intrusion prevention system. We have an intrusion detection system. We have a web application firewall. We have a guard duty, security hub, firewall manager, inspector. Number of things are there. Shields we have, right? Means if you are a security professional and you want to implement that security in your architecture, in your AWS architecture, AWS is providing a complete solution to manage your security on your existing infrastructure, right? And the migration over AWS is easy. Let's say you want to migrate your data center machine on AWS. So it is really easy. I will show you how you can do that. Migration is not a part of this course, but I will teach you how you can do the migration, how you can do a migration. I will show you how you can do a migration. So you will learn few things new with me, right? So these are some factors, these are some reasons why you have selected AWS. Number one, number of services are huge. Number two, AWS is agile. Number three, its global infrastructure is huge. Number four, because AWS free tier account is free of cost for 12 months. Performance wise, it's best. Deployment speed is very less. It provides the complete security services. Now the migration. So what kind of a migration? You can migrate servers, you can migrate databases, you can migrate applications, you can migrate storages. What you want to migrate? You can migrate anything, but you need to understand what you need to migrate and how you need to migrate. But migration is possible and migration is easy on AWS, right? And then the new topic will come here. So because this was done by AWS, and now I will start AWS Management Console introduction. So I'll not start this chapter today. I'll start this chapter tomorrow. Yeah, one more thing is there. So we have to take this class every day 1 hour, right? 1 hour. Sometimes I can increase the length of the class uh, to see the requirement of the class, see the lab duration. I can increase a little bit. So if you are happy, sometimes I can stretch to, let's say, instead of a 60 minutes, I can stretch to 90 minutes as well, 120 minutes as well. But if you are happy with that, I have not an issue. Yes, I will share the notes. Definitely, I'll share the notes. I'm writing all these notes for you. And at the end of this class, right, so we have only 12 pages written here. So what I'm doing, let me see. Here we go. Networking. Okay, we can just close this class today. And which language?